Welcome to the suite here in Hilton Namm 2015.
Thank you.
Would you please introduce yourself to all the people out there?
All right, my name is Dan Vicari, sound engineer. I also own a recording studio. Most of the engineering I do is for live sound, but I have a recording studio in North Hollywood with vintage API, a lot of vintage gear, which is kind of our niche.
Cool, and you use the System 6000 there also?
We use the System 6000 almost on every project that comes into the studio, as well as we also have some older gear, M3000, TC2290s. You know, it's used all the time.
And you're using the Dynaudio speakers as well, I know.
The Dynaudio speakers have become the staple of the near field sound for the studio, well, how should I put this? They have become the staple people want to use in while they're mixing.
It's the DB15.
The B15s, the self-powered B15s.
Yeah. And you've been working on some different Hendrix projects lately, you told me.
Yes, Janie Hendrix, who runs Experience Hendrix, she and John McDermott have been working with Eddie Kramer, the engineer, doing the various Jimi Hendrix projects, old Jimmy projects, Band of Gypsies, even on some projects that Jimmy was a sideman for before he went out on his solo career.
And which part is the System 6000 playing in that regard?
Oh, well, the reverbs, just Eddie Kramer, is using the M6000 for the reverb on some of the projects.
Cool. And you also worked with Jeff,
Jeff Emmerich was in doing a project. He was the Beatles engineer. He did a project with Nellie McKay, and the Sam 6000 gets used on almost everything that comes into the studio, and it's just one of the staples again of reverbs that we have. It's probably the most used. We have other reverbs as well, but that's probably one of the most used reverbs we have.
Going back to Eddie Kramer, he was like the original producer of the Hendrix albums, right?
Well, he was the original engineer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was Jimmy producing, right?
Yeah, Jimmy produced his own records, I believe is the way it worked, yes.
But he still works a lot in your studio, right?
He works a lot in our studio. And we also do a lot of, the M6000 gets used a lot on movie projects. My brother Tommy Vicari is a mixing engineer, and he uses it on many of the projects that he might be working with, say like with Thomas Newman and various other composers.
If you should mention one feature that you particularly like about the System 6000, which would that be?
The silky gold plate seems to be a favorite of people using the reverbs. It's just got a great sound.
Cool.
It's very smooth, very deep, very rich, and probably is one of the most used programs in the 6000.
Danny, thank you so much for coming up here and taking your time to see us.
Okay, very good.
Thanks.
All right.